Admiral back with some ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. This is the Austria-Hungary campaign, which began in 1910, and we're now at January 1915. So we've been at this for 5 years. Fought a war against France. That went well. We picked up some ports over here in the West Med as a result of that. We also fought a lot of battles against Italy. Although whether that was actually a war, well, that's debatable. What is not debatable is that we never had a peace treaty with Italy, right? We didn't get any gains from the cessation of those hostilities, which frankly were caused by bugs, which have now been corrected in the 1.08.2, which we're now playing. So we shouldn't have, fingers crossed, that sort of issue again. Right. So we are at peace. Not only are we at peace, everybody's at peace. There is not a naval war currently in progress among any of the powers. And when I say powers, that's only 4. Germany dissolved some time ago. So it's the Mediterranean powers, us, Italy, and France. And then the UK. And that's it. Not only are we not at war, we're actually friendly to one degree or another with everybody. As a matter of fact, even France and Italy are only a little bit at odds. Everyone's kind of getting along hunky-dory for now. And so I don't believe there's going to be any battles in this episode, maybe for a number of episodes to come. So we're in peacetime mode and looking to position our Navy for the future. Okay, so we have picked up a couple of techs. So I think one thing that needs to be done is do some refits to our existing ships. Specifically to our 2 battleships and our battlecruisers, because I would like to get the newly researched stereoscopic rangefinder 3 onto those guys, and I think that doing a refit will kind of bring a couple of other techs into play as well. Hopefully those should be fairly minor and shouldn't take very long or cost very much. I'm also thinking of a couple of new classes of ships. And that is being driven, one of them is being driven specifically by the new ports that we have picked up in the West Med. And those are Tunis, Bizerte, Bonifacio, and Saint Florent. Now these 2 Corsican ports up here, they are pretty small. I can't even fit one of our heavy cruisers into them. They're plenty big, however, for a nice size destroyer squadron. And so I think I'm going to build some more destroyers and plug them into these ports, specifically 12. And I think rather than build, our destroyers have done pretty well up till now. But rather than build more of the Pandours, which would be perfectly viable, I wouldn't have a problem with doing that. But we have unlocked a larger destroyer hull with more tonnage. And so what I'm thinking of doing is a new design which will largely replicate, in terms of deck layout and weapons, the Pandour in most respects, except bump up the gun caliber from the 3.9s, which have been serving us very well, and see if we can basically create a little bit larger Pandour type vessel with 4.9s. So I'm going to see if we can do that. And then the The last thing is I'm looking at Bizerte here. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I've probably said it 4 different ways just in the course of this series. We have 48,000, almost 49,000 tons of port capacity here. I would like to home port a pair of capital ships in Bizerte in order to get more capital ship presence permanently in the West Med without having to send a whole bunch of task forces over here and drive up our power projection in the West Med. Right now, this doesn't make any sense. How am I only... it may be because of... I've got them in being, but their power projection should be more than that. That's only about 900 per ship. I should be getting more than that. I bet if I put those two, I think that's Gorkowski and Pylades in Tunis. I bet if I put them on sea control, that should bump up their power projection. We'll see. Now, I don't think we're ever going to get power projection in the West Med so high that we're overpowering France and Italy. But I think the more power projection we have over here, the more that will drive up tension. And the long-term goal is to try to get into a war with either Italy or France. More likely France, given the current diplomatic situation. Because it would be nice, if at all possible. I don't know. We'd have to win a war pretty convincingly, probably, to get this region up here and get these ports. Italy would actually be the better bet, because in a peace treaty, I think we would be more likely to pick up these Sardinian ports, which are not huge, but they're not tiny either. And why do I want more ports over here? Because eventually, I think, as talked about in a previous episode, eventually I think the AI nations will eventually dissolve, and we're going to be left with Austria-Hungary versus, the UK. So I'm interested in more port capacity for whenever that day may come. Well, here's the deal. We've already got 2 battle cruisers in Tunis, and we don't really have room for too much more. We've got about 16,000 tons-ish, so there's room to plug another destroyer squadron in here as well. But if I'm going to put 2 capital ships into Bizerte, they need to be smaller than the ones that we have. They need to be about 23,000 tons or so. Our battle cruisers are larger than that, and our existing battleship design is way larger than that. So, I need to design not a cheap ship. It's actually going to have to be pretty expensive, I think, because a lot of the techs which save weight are costly. Things like the highest quality armor and oil, fuel, and things like that. So I need to kind of pack a lot of capability into a 23,000 ton ship, specifically for the Bizerte station. Okay. So those are the refits and designs that I'm thinking about, and let's hop into them. Before starting that, I think players of the game will be pretty familiar with the fact that the ship designer can be a little problematic sometimes when doing multiple designs. So on every one of these, I'm going to exit completely out of the ship designer and even back out to the main menu to ensure there's a that there's a save before going back in. Supposedly that's been alleviated and shouldn't be as big a problem now, but I'm just being safe with that. Having gone through early in the series designing like 3 ships and losing them all and having to redesign them again. Okay. And also, without going item by item, I did kind of take a scan through the various texts and see if anything was real close that I would want to wait for. Nah, didn't really see anything. I think we're doing okay. Nothing that I wanted to wait on a design for. Okay, first let's get these refits out of the way. Here's our battleship here, the Crown Prince Rudolph. And this will be a very small refit. I don't think it's going to refit here. And sometimes, yeah, we're going to have to redo something here with the turrets. Let's move that out of the way for a second. That made him happy. Okay, let's move this guy back. Right. Get these components on before I mess around with weight reset. Some guns have a poor sector of fire. I think it's talking about this one. You know what? It's fine. A lot of times you get this message up here in yellow and it won't tell you, it doesn't show you the freaking gun it's talking about. Sometimes it does and it'll be yellow, but often it isn't. That's kind of irritating. But I'm looking over these firing arcs and yeah, I don't think there's any problems here. Okay. We want to upgrade from the stereoscopic rangefinder 2 to the stereoscopic 3. Oil burners. That's going to save a little weight. And actually, let's double check this. Is that going to improve smoke interference? We're at -11. I mean, it's negative as it is. Can't go below 0 really, so. But it will save some weight at some cost. Yeah, that'd help with smoke interference a lot. Okay, we're at Group 4 as it is. Are we at max barbette? We are. We've got a fair amount of tonnage here. I think we've picked up an improved propellant. We have tube powder. Yeah, let's do that. Due to the improvements with the propellant, with the tube powder, I think I'm feeling okay to upgrade to electro-hydraulic 1. .9s. I think I'm pretty happy with those, and 2.9's up in the towers. We're still at 100% engine efficiency, and I don't think this is the biggest funnel either, so that's working out well. It's a 25 knot battleship. I think that's fine. I also kind of feel like if I start messing with this stuff up here, that's going to really drive the refit up. Although, I mean, I get surprised. Some refits seem like they ought to be very extensive, and they're not. And other refits seem fairly superficial, and they take forever. So, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Well, I'm happy to leave a little room here just for future refits as they come up, so I don't feel compelled to just fill up every last ton there. I think, though, we can kind of bump up some armor here. Let's add a 1/2 inch to the main deck and a 1/2 inch to the superstructure. I like a lot of superstructure. Let's add a 1/2 inch to the main belt. And it is kind of an all or nothing scheme. I know that there's a citadel specifically called all or nothing, but you know, the main belt, and then I don't have that much armor on the fore and aft belts and the fore and aft decks, so it's kind of an all or nothing concept anyway. Okay, we need to fix some aft weight offset. So let's add a little bit to the fore belt. Let's take that up to 4 inches. That almost did it. A little bit of foredeck. That did it. I think we can just live with 0.1. I don't want to make any more changes than I have to for refit, cost, and length of. Okay, I think that will do for the refit to the Crown Prince Rudolph. And as I said earlier, instead of heading straight to the battlecruiser, I'm just going to exit out. Okay, this is the most recent refit design for the Loudon class battlecruiser, which not all of them have even gotten up to yet. I hope I don't have to go through each refit, that I can, you know, hopefully I can at least skip a refit. Okay, same sort of thing. All I'm really looking for here is the stereoscopic rangefinder. Let's upgrade to oil propulsion. Do we have another boiler? No. Are we still on plain turbines? No, we have geared turbines. What is that going to get me? More smoke interference. What is our smoke interference right now? It's not bad, 15.8. I've got a few tons to play with here. Is this going to save weight? Yes. Ooh, that adds a $3 million price tag. You know, we're actually kind of bringing the tonnage of this ship down enough. It's not. I don't think we can bring it down enough to fit in 2 of these into Bizerte, though. Let's upgrade the diesels. And upgrade to electro-hydraulic. Go to the tube powder 1. Yeah, TNT2 is our best. Electro-hydraulic turrets. Not sure exactly how it did it, but we brought the smoke interference down a little bit. How did I do that? I'm not sure which one did that. Okay, well. Yeah, I know I'm adding cost to the ship. We've got a lot of weight to play with here. Let's go ahead and kind of... Pretty happy. Had a pretty strong superstructure on this as it was. Let's improve the Citadel. I think she's pretty well armored as it is. A little gratuitous. I feel like the conning tower should be at least as much, if not a little more, than the main belt. I know these look like pretty good numbers on the turrets. We can increase the top to match the main deck. Let's see if we can go to 6.5. Yeah, we're adding some weight there. This is almost a $60 million ship. Ooh, I think on the last refit I forgot to increase the caliber of the casemate 4-inchers. Oh, yeah. Okay. We need to bring some weight back down. Okay, well, that's fine. I think I can dial superstructure down to about 5.5. This might turn into a lengthy refit after all. I don't know. What are these? 1 point. They're up in the towers. I'm leaving those alone. It was these back here that were the new guns. You know, let's just dial this caliber back down until we get in weight. Okay, 4.7, fine. Okay, we do have some forward weight offset. I don't know if I want to shave anymore. If we go 3.5, that's getting pretty close. Okay, that's 0.2. I think we can live with that. And we got a tiny bit of tonnage for future refits. And this is a $60 million ship now. Alright, there's the refit for the battlecruiser. Okay, a new destroyer And we've got this Destroyer 3 hull available now. There's also Destroyer 2, and I don't. The two earlier classes, I think those were on the large torpedo boat hull. Let's see, Destroyer 2 we can build up to 1,500 ton. Destroyer 3 also 1,500 ton. So really, either one of them will do. 1,500 ton is actually the minimum for the Destroyer 3. Strangely, Destroyer 2 looks smaller, or larger rather, but I think that's because 1,500 is like in the middle of its possible tonnage range, whereas for Destroyer 3, 1,500 is the minimum for this hull. I think it's why it looks like that. That said, let's go with Destroyer 2. Well, you know what? I wonder if we get the same set of towers available. With Destroyer 2, we get main tower, we get advanced tower 2. And with Destroyer 3, we get much advanced tower 8. Wow. Okay. But can we fit that 57 ton compared to the 38 ton? I'm kind of feeling like Destroyer 2 is the way to go. Let's go with that. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put 2 mounts up there or not. Before getting into all that, what do I want up here? I want a 37 knot destroyer, just so that it is speed compatible with our older classes if they get mixed together. Double hold does seem a little. I know I'm adding a lot of bells and whistles, but double hold for a destroyer just seems wrong. Best coincidence rangefinder. No. I do like armor on my destroyers. Why? Because transports have guns. And light cruisers and other destroyers. Now I'll peel some of this back. This is just an entering argument. Okay. That'll probably go somewhere about there. Let's just get the bits and pieces on. Okay, do I need an ultra enhanced for 100? No. I'm not even getting half. What's up with that? Maybe I do need to go force draft. Ew. Man, I don't want to use 2 funnels. Let's see what we can shoehorn on here first. You know, I think there's going to be space. I think we can do 2 funnels. Matter of fact, if I'm going to commit to 2 funnels, can I do 2 big funnels? Those are almost the same. I think 2 of these will do the job. For that matter, will 2 of these do the job? Yeah, I think they will. It won't quite be 100, but it'll be pretty high. As long as I got to do 2 funnels anyway. Right. I know I got to have torpedo launchers. It's a requirement. I wish I had the darn triple. I wish I had the triples available. Ooh. Ooh. I think I like this. That way, you know, like I've mentioned before, and did something like this with the Pondor. Two torpedoes shot to port, turn, and you've still got your other torpedoes on the ready to go on the other side. Okay. So now, barbette aft. Should fit on the very small, I would hope. And can I get... That was the whole idea of doing this. Is doing the 4 instead of the 3s. Actually, we've got room for more. Much more. Much more. What does that do to that guy's firing arc? Not terrible. Not terrible. And can I shoehorn a barbette here somewhere midships? That maybe not. Maybe. Maybe. There's a little bit of green there. Does that mess up the torpedoes? No. No, no, no. That's quite the little gunboat there. I'm digging that. I'm digging that a lot. We've got a lot of tonnage to work with here. Okay. Let's see here. Max HE, yes. Do we want the high capacity? I think so. These guns usually have so much ammo. I don't know if they can fire forever, even with standard ammo. I don't know if I really need this. So tube powder will give a little bit of accuracy, some more pen. Enhances reload. This gives more range and damage. I'm going to go with the tube. TNT. Yeah. It's going to be making sharp turns, so we need some good traverse speed. Let's go with that. Let's go with as fast as we can make them fire. 20-inch torpedoes. Kind of like the fast propulsion. I don't feel a need to go with higher than standard ammo on the torps. tempted now to try 5.9s. Oh, you know what? I didn't bust up the caliber and length yet. Oh yeah, we're running into a little bit of gun barrel length issues back here. That's not too bad. Fix that up. That's still a decent firing arc. That's a very good one. That's do have a lot of weight offset. I think one of these turrets back here may be a little bit of overkill. Ooh. Well, no, let's put that back. And let's just move these torpedo launchers a little bit. What happens if I put them up here by the funnel? Well, it was happy there earlier. Oh, crap. I guess maybe the barbette is messing it up. Okay. You can probably bring this tower forward a little bit. I don't think it's going to do that much. But that should allow us to bring these guns forward a little bit. Okay, that gets us to 0.7. Which I think we can just fiddle with the armor a little bit for that. Aft weight offset, we can just peel off a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, I need to put armor on these. Something like 3" ought to be plenty. Against what it's really designed to protect against, which is fire from transports and other destroyers. No, 3.3 is as high as it goes. What's the max on the top? All the way to 6.1, really. That's that seems weird. Okay. I don't think we need that much. Let's go with let's just go with 3. Okay. Aft weight offset. So let's just peel off a little bit. Ooh. Wow, these make a big difference there. Is aft deck probably the same? Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we can live with 0.8% aft weight offset. Maybe let's see if we can move this just one scooch. Nah. It's, the offset's pretty sensitive on these, so I think this is fine. That's a pretty. I mean, it's as well armored as a destroyer can be in all respects, including superstructure and everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4.9-inch guns compared to the Pondor's 4 3.9-inch, and basically the same torpedo armament, same speed. I think this is it. Okay, the Lika class destroyer. It is pretty expensive. Okay, new capital ship, specifically designed so that we can fit 2 of them into the Bizerte port, which has not quite 49,000 tons. So I'm looking for about, a 23,000 ton-ish ship. Okay, so I don't need this Dreadnought 3 hull. One of these smaller Dreadnought hulls would be good. And actually, if you look at these things, these smaller hulls actually have more resistance. The big one does have other advantages. The Dreadnought 3 is more stable, has higher floatability and hull form. But I just don't need this big a ship. So I'm going to go with Experimental Dreadnought 1. Okay. So it's the smallest ship, and but I want to pack stuff on it. I had the idea that I was going to go with something somewhat similar to the Loudon battlecruiser, which looks like this, with that has kind of a janky. It'll work. This happens a lot when you go in and look at a design. 3 double turrets forward in kind of a Nelson-like arrangement, like this, to shorten the citadel. I'm going to try something that I don't normally do. I have talked before, I think I mentioned before, that triple turrets, which we just unlocked very recently, have a pretty significant accuracy nerf to them, which we can see that right here. Let me just put just for the 12-inch gun, if we look on the tooltip here for the double turret, look at 10,000 meters, and that's a 2.1% base accuracy, whereas the triple is a 1.7%. And with all the doodads that we add and everything, the double is always going to be more accurate than the triple. However, with all the tech that we have, putting the rangefinder on there and getting the beam and the draft and zeroing out the offset, I think it's still going to be accurate enough. I think we can build enough accuracy into this design to overcome that nerf, which, oh, by the way, it's a 20% nerf is what it is. It doesn't, that specific number doesn't become apparent until you're actually in battle. But I think we can build more accuracy in it so that we can get a ship that has not as much accuracy inherent in it compared to if we went with the double turrets, but still plenty enough. So I'm gonna do, instead of 3 double turrets, I'm gonna do 2 triple turrets. Which the actual weight savings on the turrets themselves won't be that much, right? About 2,000 tons. I mean, it'll be a little bit longer when I lengthen the barrels and the caliber, but ratio-wise, 2 of these triple turrets will weigh roughly the same ballpark as 3 doubles, but it will allow further shortening the citadel. Very compact. And so I think we get some more net tonnage from doing that, which is important since we're trying to shoehorn all this onto a relatively small tonnage ship. Okay. Max the beam. Mend the draft. Why do I do that? I think I've mentioned it before, but let me just put this back a second. Let's put these back to 0. Minimizing the draft and maximizing the beam makes the entire hull more stable. Right? You widen the beam, that adds stability. You minimize the draft, that lowers the center of gravity. Okay, let's just plop a turret on here. Okay, so at 0, 0, look there, 10,000 meters, we've got 2.1%. Let's maximize the beam. 2.2%. Let's minimize the draft. Okay, maybe I don't need to do both. But you do get accuracy increases from doing both of those. And I'm doing both of those. Right. I don't want a super slow ship here. I want to be able to control the engagement range. So let's go for a 25 knotter. And our big battleship, our Dreadnought, our Crown Prince Rudolph class, is also a 25 knotter. I'm usually happy to kind of concede to mini bulkheads. That'll save a little bit of tonnage there. I do not want cramped. I'll go to standard. Okay. Get all the doodads here. Oil, induced, geared turbine. We'll see if we can get away with aux 2. That's an area that I would be willing to pare back. Always like the unbalanced rudder for the turning rate. And electro-hydraulic steering. Obviously we want the best quality armor. This is some of these are other areas where I'd be willing to pare back a little bit. But let's see if we can get anti-torp 3. Double bottom, reinforced bulkheads, anti-flood 3, and the best citadel. Some of those are going to have to be dialed back. No doubt. And let's just see if we can get the max citadel possible. Again, we can dial back here. Let's go for about 14 on the main belt. Kind of the all or nothing scheme like I do. So this is an entering argument, about 3" on the fore, 3" on the aft. Let's go with like 5.5 main deck, 2.5 on the fore and aft. Heavy superstructure, though. I can already tell. We're going to have tonnage problems with this. We don't even have a tower on, let alone guns. Okay. Best tower we can get for accuracy and damage control. We want it fairly well aft. $78.4. That's probably okay. Okay. Obviously that aft weight offset is not going to stay. Okay. Nope, not sides. Triples. $12.9. 20% length. Offset's looking pretty good. I mean, that's easily going to be adjustable, right? And actually, that didn't add as much weight as I thought. We're not looking too bad for tonnage. Okay. That's going to add a lot more doodads, though. Gun aiming speed, sure. Stereoscopic 3, of course. Let's go with standard ratio. Max for the secondaries, which we don't have installed yet. Okay. High capacity for the HEs. The most pin we can get on the AP. Heavy shells. Increased ammo. Tube powder. TNT. Do I need to go electro-hydraulic? Or is advanced hydraulic okay? I think advanced hydraulic is okay. I do want to enhance this though. Or do I? It does nerf the turret traverse and the aim speed. If we're going to do this, let's go ahead with the electro-hydraulic to counteract on the traverse. Still got 2,000 tons to play with here. We don't have our secondaries on though. And are we happy with the armor here? Let's max out the barbette. Well, that's pretty heavy barbette. We don't need to go that high. Let's go about 16. Don't like to get guns knocked out. Let's go 18 here. Let's go about 06 on the top. Okay, here's where we're gonna add a lot of weight. Casemate guns. I think this. I would put 3s along here but it won't let you. It won't fit them. You can only put a couple up here on the tower, which I'm not even going to do. 4 is the smallest we can do. Let's max those out, and that's for range. I mean, it helps accuracy and pin too, but I'm mainly looking for range with the length and the diameter. Because what that will do is that should let them reach out just about far enough. Range, yeah, 14.3 with AP and 13.2 with HE. And in the absence of other ships spotting or radar and that sort of thing, somewhere in the 13 to 14 range is about where the ships will gain visual sight of each other. You know, roughly similar ships, right? Like if going up against another battleship. I mean, obviously the 12.9s will reach out much, much, much further than that, and will do so if there is a destroyer or a cruiser or something spotting for them, which is a completely bullshit mechanic, but this isn't the time or place for that. It's just the way it is in this game. But they can't fire if they can't see, and so 4.9s as opposed to 4s, fully lengthened, will reach out about to visual range. And do they do that much against those types of targets, other capital ships? Not directly, but they help start fires. And we like setting fires to enemy ships. Right. And with that in mind, we probably may have to move everything up a little bit for offset, but we got room back here maybe for some secondary mounts. Well, I don't know if we have tonnage for it though. Yeah, if I try to put some mounts back here, I think we're going to have tonnage problems. I'd rather get a little bit more armor instead. Okay. So we got 6.4% weight offset. Let's just move these forward a little bit. .2. How do these firing arcs look? That's our citadel. Oh, man, look how short that citadel is. I like it. Let's just move these forward maybe one notch. Move this turret forward a notch or two. Okay, that's still plenty short. But that was enough to give us weight problems. Oh, I mean, we're right on the weight. And moving the tower forward got us back underweight because because the funnel is moving with the tower. It's mounted in it, and moving the funnel forward moved the propulsion plant forward. And boom, there we are. We are perfectly offset. 78.4 engine efficiency, I think we can live with. And we've got 99% of available tonnage, which leaves us a little bit of room for future refits. I think these firing arcs look okay. I mean, they're only forward-mounted turrets. However, they they can fire aft pretty well. Oops, barbette. Oh, that screwed us up. I missed that one. Okay. Okay. What happens if I just dial the barbette back a little bit? No. No, let's max all these minus... Well, you know what? What is our flash fire chance, just as it is? It's pretty darn low. And it only gets set if there's a penetration inside the citadel. Anyway, we have a max. I'm going to leave that at barbette 2. Where can we shave a little bit of weight? Let's bring the turrets back down to 17.5. That's not really buying much. Let's bring the barbette down to 15.5. Just come down to kind of round numbers in the citadel. 6.5, 3.5. Whoops, a little bit too far. Oh, that's maxed already. Okay. Yeah, I don't really want to. I don't want to bring any more armor down. Probably already. I don't know if we need. Let's bring the casemates down to about 9. And 5. Okay. Let's settle for anti-torp 2. Oh, that did it. And then some. Well, let's max our citadel back out. Can we get the barbette 3 back? I'm going to bet no. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, balanced out. We're using 99% of available tonnage. Pitch and roll are probably okay for a ship of this type. Engine efficiency is okay. I think it's decently armored. And we've only got the 2 turrets, but they're triples. And we've got as many gun barrels as we would have had in the other design I was thinking about with 3 double turrets. And we've got a 24,000 ton ship, 2 of which will just barely, all right, it's actually, we're only using 24078, but this number on the right is what's actually going to get counted. So 24,386. Wow. Two of these are just going to barely fit into that port. Like, greasing the sides to squeeze in along the pier. Okay, Albert class BV. Now, as the GDP grows, the port capacity will slowly grow as well. So eventually, we may be able to put another couple of destroyers in there or something. All right. I'll be back and we'll start, we'll build a few of these things. All right, we've got our refit designs and our new designs all done. And let's build some of these things. And this is going to cost a lot of money because I'm going to build a lot of these new destroyers. I really like these. The Balaton, the original Balaton class, 3.3 million. The Pandur class, 5.8. These Likas are call it 7.5 million, and I am going to build 18 of these, 3 different destroyer squadrons of 6 apiece in 3 different ports. That's going to cost a pretty penny. Nope, I clicked on the wrong one. Cancel that. Lika class, there we go. To build 18 battle cruisers, that would have been even more expensive. It's going to cost us 19 million a month building these. Okay. Built. And 2 of the new Albert class. Even though I was trying to be careful, I still managed to exit out of the ship designer the wrong way and had to go and rebuild this thing again. The good news is, I don't know how I did it, but somehow I got even better pitch and roll numbers when I did it the second time around. In all respects, it is just like I designed it. The same guns, the same secondaries, I think all of the components were the same. So, this ship is the same that we saw designed. It's just I had to do it again. When you're in the ship designer, you still have this gear up here, right? Which lets you exit the main menu. I thought that would do what I wanted. No, do not go to main menu from the ship designer directly. Exit back to, the world first. Then exit to the main menu. that design did not save, despite me hitting save on the in the ship designer. Okay. And we're going to build 2 of the Alberts. I even renamed it the same. Okay. That covers that. Let's refit the 2 Crown Prince Rudolphs. Why am I not able to... Oh, I need to actually choose the refit design. There we go. We'll just do both of them. We're at peace. And on the battle cruisers, we've got 2 undergoing refit now to design number 3. So we could refit Loudon and Fido, or we can do Pylades and Gorskowski are only on design 2. So let's see if we can skip a design and put Pylades and Gorskowski straight to design 4. I think we should be able to. It would be stupid if we couldn't. We can. And let's just see how long the refit is. It shouldn't be very long. Only 2 months. Okay. No. 10 months. 10 months. And that is because they were at design 2, skipped a design, which means they're basically getting design 3 and 4 at the same time. And design 3 is the one that changed the configuration of the secondaries. So that's going to take some time for them. I doubt it will take as long. Well, it might, because there's actually 2 different design 3s. I don't think Loudon and Fido have the secondaries either. Okay. We'll let these finish, and then we'll follow up with those last 2. And these are our 4. I'm building them, but I'm not gonna let it unless I forget. I don't intend to finish these. I just want to have 4 power projection cheapo cruisers kind of waiting that we can complete quickly in the future if we lose some in a war. Okay, 20 months to build Albert and Luitpold. And these 2 are going to go to crap. I guess I can't actually. I have to complete them in our existing ports. And then move them over there. I expected to see, you know, Bonifacio and Bizerte and Tunis and everything over here. Alright, well. I think we've got room in these ports for these ships. What I don't know is, do I have room in... Even though each individual destroyer is not that much tonnage, I'm building 18 of them. How many will it let me cram in? Three, 6. I bet the rest of them will fit in Kataro. Okay, and now the million-dollar question, like literally, is what did that do to my finances? Oh, we're back to almost 50 million in the hole every month. And with over $1 billion in naval funds, I think we can tolerate that for a while. We do have everything maxed, and we are ahead in tech. The other 3 powers are still average in tech, and we're advanced. So I can afford to drop back a little on tech and transport capacity. We have that maxed out. But we've got such a surplus. I'm going to go ahead and let this run and we'll just spin down some of the surplus. I look at that as buying additional tech and GDP progress. You can see that the naval funds of the other powers are not nearly as high as ours. So we can afford to let this drop for a few months. We get down around like 700 million or so. At that point, I can dial these back. So this deficit is fine. Okay. Well, I think that will do for this episode. Some new refits, some new designs, and a lot of new ship construction as we take the the Austro-Hungarian Navy into the future, looking toward our next war with whoever that may be. And let me just finish with a couple thoughts on that. Once we get these ships in and we get we got more, we got destroyers in the West Med, we got a couple more capital ships, and then we've got additional capital ships here. My idea is put a lot of these ships in the West Med in sea control, bring some task forces over, put them in sea control, bring some cruisers maybe, put them in sea control, and ramp up our power projection in the West Med and see if that starts making tensions decrease with Italy and or France. Probably both. Will that be enough? And can we afford that long enough to kick off a war? I don't know. But that's my idea for what to try next once we get our fleet all kind of tinkered up the way we like. Okay. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like this content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you're new to the channel in the series and want to see other episodes in this series that you may not have seen yet, I'm linking the playlist right here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.